Hey everyone, welcome back to IDEANTHRO Movement. On today's episode, movement is complex and that's okay. This episode is inspired by a recent Facebook post that a trainer broadly in the Brisbane area, where I am from, made. And as soon as I read this to you, you are going to be like, that's intriguing. Jack waffles on a lot in these episodes and really gets into the weeds about things. I'm not sure that he agrees with that. So let me read this to you. So the person said, programming can be complex. Our job as educators, they like to think of themselves as a trainer, as an educator, which I 100% agree with. Programming can be complex. Our job as educators is to simplify it for our clients, not make it more complex to show off. Now, I'm going to address the first half of that. I just like to say the last little bit of that, the not make it more complex to show off, I 100% agree with. If you're a trainer in this space and you're making things appear more complex than they are in order to show off, yeah, that's a problem, right? But I'm going to address the rest of that. This concept that we should be simplifying our programming or our explanations of things for our clients, for our practitioners in our facilities, for our friends, I think is dead wrong. Now, I'd like to say, I do inherently get the point that they're trying to make here. I just think that it's a little short-sighted. See, here's the thing. The world is an inherently incredibly complex place. And we have a number of cognitive biases in our own minds that are there to help us deal with that complexity. But in the process, they have us use rules of thumb to oversimplify things, and they give us this false sense that the world is actually far simpler and more predictable and more linear than it actually is. The world is not. The world is incredibly vast and varied and complex. The problem here, so we've got this inherent bias though to I want to oversimplify things. And that is in many respects a good thing, because if we tried to deal with the complexity of everything every single day, we would just, our heads would explode. We simply couldn't deal with it. The problem here is that because we have these inherent inbuilt biases that tend to simplify things down, we can kind of forget about that complexity of the real world. So we come to movement and programming, which is the language that this person used for it. We come to movement in general, and it is a complex topic. So sure, I can get the benefit of simplifying an explanation of something to someone in order to help them to maybe go, oh yeah, okay, cool, I'm in with that right now, I agree with that, let's do it. Or to try and build their desire to, oh yeah, okay, you want me to like go and do this mobility thing, or you want, at night, or you want me to change the way I'm sitting at work. Yeah, okay, cool, I get that. Like that's a good explanation. A simple explanation can be useful there though. The problem is though, that simple explanations of a complex phenomenon or a complex world are wrong. Somewhere you will find that you reach the limits of that simplicity and you butt up against the fact where that simplicity was inherently an oversimplification and therefore not correct. And so if we are always conveying just this top level, just this like tip of the iceberg sort of situation, we're not really actually teaching anything, right? If I don't tell you the details about these concepts that I talk about, right? If I don't get into the nitty-gritty of it, ultimately you don't actually learn anything, because you might hear the headline, you might hear the main takeaway point that I want and be like, oh yeah, okay, cool, that sounds good. Jack said so, sweet, let's follow him like the Messiah. Please don't ever do that. I hope, just sincerely hope no one does, but please don't. But let's say that you do. Then inevitably, because it's a complex world, you're going to find that top level headline reading has limitations, But because you don't know any more detail than that, you're going to find that, when you come across the limitation, you have no way of processing that. You have no way of conceptually dealing with, wait, hang on, why doesn't that stack up with Jack's suggestion? How do I process that thing which doesn't seem to align with what Jack said? And so then you end up yo-yoing across to something else. It's like, well, that just said Jack must be wrong, so therefore, this other thing that explains this other phenomenon I just came up against, that must be right, so let's go and believe that. But of course, that's not right either, because that's just another oversimplification. So you end up yo-yoing about, not understanding what's going on. And you see this, I see this with people who have got injuries that they can't deal with, and that they've just been given headline reading kind of information about, yeah, it's your TFL that's causing that problem with your knee. Just keep that TFL loose by mobilizing it with a ball and you'll be fine. The TFL doesn't act in isolation. It's part of an incredibly complex system that is the body. And while, yeah, the TFL might literally be the last thing that's tight and pulling on that knee, well, perhaps it turns out that the way you sit at the office slightly twisted all day is setting off a chain of events that is tightening up and loosening out various different bits of the body, ultimately results in the TFL getting tight and pulling on the knee, and you've got some knee pain. But the solution to that problem has got nothing to do with either mobilizing the TFL or the knee itself, for that matter. Just random example, right? So if we take what this person's saying, which is that it's our job as educators to simplify it to people, the answer's no. Actually, all that does is make us look good. It gives the person short-term success and sets them up for failure in the long term. Now, I'm not saying that every time someone asks me a question, I should answer it, although I have a tendency of doing this, that I should answer it with a 20-minute video. Around 5, 6, 7 minutes, something like that at the moment, depending on how long I sat here with this camera rolling before I started talking. I'm not saying that we should always respond with the detail, but having our default being to simplify everything a huge degree, no, that's not the answer either. We need to be prepared to delve into the details. For anything that we actually want to be knowledgeable about, we need to delve into the details. And from my point of view, there are a heck of a lot of people out there who will talk just at the surface level of things in the movement world. If that's what you want, you can go watch and listen to a million of them. But if you want someone who's going to dig in a little bit deeper, if you want to learn a little bit deeper, if you want someone who's going to pull in abstract concepts from different fields way outside of health and fitness and movement, then yeah, come here. We'll go a little bit deeper. But ultimately, that's your choice. And I'm not the only one who goes deep into things by any means, but you get what I'm getting at here. Okie dokie, that is plenty for the episode. I will continue to make obnoxiously long videos about topics that I find interesting, because it's what I do and because I think it has benefits. If you would like to know more about what it is that we do here at IDEANTHRO Movement, you can go to ideanthro.com/movement, find out a bunch of stuff there. If you are in the Brisbane area and want to perhaps join up and train with us in the real world at our facility in Oxley, you can come down for a free trial. I mean, you can join up straight away if you want, but you could come down for a free trial. Give us a go. ideanthro.com/free-trial is the way to go there. And if you just want to get in touch, suggest a question, topic for an episode, ask us something, whatever it is, ideanthro.com/connect is the spot. Okie dokie, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.